These past few weeks, we have been enjoying one of the most beautiful springs since we arrived. We're enjoying the gardens again, replanting and dining together outside. The longer days are giving us all a fresh burst of energy to tackle our preparations for the guest season ahead. In the West Wing, we are in the final stretch, and each week feels like a major victory. Our beams are finally being installed. Our color choice is finalized, and we are now awaiting the delivery of a full set of kitchen appliances and cabinets.
And the plaster looks great, right? Like that shouldn't have been pretending to be a beam. But it would look really weird. It's beautiful. The beams have been delivered.
Yeah,
What do you think?
they're magnificent. They really are. But most than that, I just feel like it was divine intervention because the plaster ones didn't come through. And I think they would have looked really not real. Pretend beams, and we had pretend beams in La Jolla, and it never quite looked right. If you looked at them hard, you could tell it was something else. And this just looks great, and it's like sometimes things don't work out, and you have to pay more, but it's so much more worth it. And this is going to last, hopefully, forever. Until they take them off, and then they find that there's other beams underneath it, and say, what were these people thinking? Why are there beams on beams? And it's amazing because the ceiling's still really, really high.
It is high.
You don't perceive that anything was taken away from this area.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be magnificent. Just right now they're painting them. So they put a top coat and then they're going to paint the real color. And I want to come back and start stenciling them with all these beautiful designs. But Julia's not going to let me because I'm not that precise. We need artists that specialize in this. But it'd be so much easier right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Later. Something to look forward to.
Yeah. Or plaster.
This is a lot of planning.
How do you feel about the beam selection, the choice, the mistake, the plasters out, the wood beams in?
The wood beams are 2.5 times as expensive, and the beams are already in plaster quite expensive. So I have a very different lens than your camera lens.
Cool.
But yes, they're beautiful.
Les vis sur les côtés. Ouais. Là en fait on a tout collé, tout collé au plafond et on a mis des vis sur le côté dans le rail plafond.
Non, moi j'y vais, t'inquiète pas. Vas-y, attention les doigts. Faut que ça vienne vers moi, je pense.
Huge thing. You can see Okay. The
Right here?
beams are here.
The beams have arrived.
And they're stunning. And we don't miss the old beams at all because these are just so, they're actually lovelier because they allow the beautiful color we painted on the ceiling, the loggia color, to really show. And the old beams were a true plafond à la française, so it's quite evenly spaced, which wouldn't have been able to show our beautiful second color in there as much. And we had planned around that, but I think this was a fortuitous change that happened because of supplier issues and quotes and a whole saga that happened around them. So switching to the wooden beams that are wider spaced is beautiful and gives the perfect amount of space, I think, to paint a little Renaissance motif in between the beams just on the red, much like our original dining room. I think it's gonna be gorgeous. And even if we never paint that, it's still beautiful. I have no problem with it staying like this. So beautiful. It really feels like it's coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've reached March 31st and it is a Monday and we're about to enter April. So that means we're 2 months away from our retreat season starting. And today we had A and B Concept, which is our woodwork team, install the beams finally. So we've been in the room all day kind of staring and taking it all in because the beams have been really a point of contention around the entire project. We had to take the ceiling down to put in insulation to really make the West Wing soundproof, because for the past 4 years that we've been living here, it's just been kind of chaotic. You can hear everything upstairs. So the decision, either raise the ceilings, lower the ceilings, or lose the beams. So we ultimately decided to lose the beams. And so with losing the beams, there was a lot of anxiety because that meant we're gonna cover up these beautiful beams that seem historic, but really they were putting in the 70s by the former owners. Anyway, so we've been angsting for the last 4 or 5 months about these beams, and they're finally in today. Absolutely beautiful. We're so happy with the results. And along the way, we had a couple of hiccups because one, we had to decide the size of the beams, how many beams they would be, and the price and the overall cost of putting beams in now that we covered the old ones was going to be a lot, and we were going to make them in plaster so they can be a little cheaper. But during the project, we had a bit of a hiccup with our plaster team, and they just pulled out of the work. They couldn't do the beams, so then we had to, shuffle last minute, and we found that our wood team was able to do it last minute. So they were able to put in maybe half of the amount of the beams that we had first anticipated, but now the spacing, the fact that they're in wood is just absolutely stunning. We couldn't have planned it better because in plaster they might have looked different, and now in wood they're absolutely stunning, and we don't regret anything. We're so happy we did it. We went with this beautiful color called Loggia that Maruka and Julia angsted about for many, many weeks, and now it looks amazing. So now we finally have these beams in, and slowly but surely we're getting kind of there. Now this week is about finishing up more woodwork, more painting. The big delivery date is on the 16th, where all of our furniture pieces come in, and we're kind of just taking stock of what's happened today because it's huge. It's such an important piece of the room. The beams, the ceilings, preserving that historical feeling of the room, and we're all just delighted and super grateful that it turned out this way. I'll show you what Julia looks like right now. She loves it so much, she's in bliss.
So I think this is like the best of all worlds. Yeah, we had to find like
and the texture.
Yeah.
It's very creative.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Well, Luca's very excited about colors right now, and the sliding door. Wow, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Wow.
The chimney.
We were like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't want water in it, we wanted it.
Oh, what this is the actual plan.
So then we put the 2 columns.
Yeah,
Is that what you want?
I just thought the whole thing would be more like, I thought there was like some sort of curve. Maybe I'm gonna see it right. There is a little curve. It doesn't look like piece. I'm just, I don't know.
So tomorrow's D-Day.
Tomorrow is D-Day. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. we're gonna start seeing the actual cabinetry for all of these spaces. The kitchen, the aperitif zone, the hallway, the cafe hallway, the break room, everything except this back area because they need to wait on the hood placement before they bring in any cabinetry and they don't want to scratch anything. But I just don't know how they're gonna put this in with all this stuff in here.
I don't know.
Yeesh. Look how good that sliding door looks, baby.
I knew where to find you.
You knew where to.
I know where you are. Let's go. Dinner.
Ready? Okay.
Dinner.
Wow. Yeah, I'm worried that they're gonna freak out that there's like all this stuff around. We decided to go with tile in this whole back wall because it originally was just gonna stay plaster like everything else, but because this is the back kitchen and there's gonna be a massive sink right here and there's gonna be 2 dishwashers, we really wanted to just make sure everything was waterproof and like no nonsense. It's all really nicely tiled on the floor. So now our whole team can just not worry about all of this humidity or water splashing behind the sink or anything like that. And we're gonna put in some metal shelves here, which now that I see the tile might be sad to like pierce them with metal shelves. Wonder if there's anything prettier, but ideally this is like a very rugged room with like just clean things where we can put laundry detergent and stuff. So all of that comes in tomorrow, and I'm so curious to see what these pieces look like in here. This represents basically the entire heating pipe system of the chateau, because right underneath us is our boiler for the entire property. And then each of these lines represents different zones of heating. So we can actually control the degree that we heat each floor, which is great. And so this is all gonna stay here. We're gonna close this door, and then we're having a really nice custom cabinet made in here. So it's like a little staff cubby hole area, because this is our new staff entrance. And what we're looking at here is really gonna be like the center of our team all season long. They come in here, they get oriented, they check schedules, they check in with each other. The break room is right in front, and then before they ever go, on stage in front of guests in the kitchen, they have this like little, backstage area.
Kitchen. Roberto's heading to San Diego, and he's missing all the fun.
Yeah, he's missing the big finale, all the deliveries.
Well, all the tension about whether it fits.
I think Mom was nervous about the fireplace not fitting.
Everybody's worked so hard to get it to fit.
We'll see.
Well, when he gets back at the end of April, should all be in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's going to be installed on Monday. Oh, thank God.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let's see. Wendy. No, they are. Come here. Wendy, come here. Come on.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, c'est lourd. It's okay. It's gorgeous.
Wow.
Wow.
Now what?
And so now each like
Yeah. That's so freaking cool.
wow, it looks so
Show it to the
fairy
camera.
tale.
One there. Look at that.
This is the piece that made me.
All the furniture was delivered on Friday. Today is Sunday. And we are also testing out a new chandelier that came in yesterday. But all the furniture is here. Not all of it, most of it. Hi, what are you up to?
We're trying to pick candle height. Let me show you, Mama.
So
It
the
looks
bottom one,
good.
listen, the bottom one, I put it next to here. The top one, I put it next
Okay.
to here, so that you can,
So,
excuse me.
okay.
So this is the new chandelier that's gonna go in this dining room area. Maruka and Julia are picking up candles.
That's the low.
Right,
Yeah.
for an order that will be placed today. These beautiful electrified candle
Do
fixtures.
the lower one.
The lower one?
Yeah, actually, I like the lowest one, so. No, you're bringing it too low.
I am? Okay, hold on.
The bottom
The-
with
the
this
low one?
edge,
Hold on.
with this edge.
The low one was here. Yeah.
There, I think
There.
that's very
I
nice.
think that's nice too.
Yeah.
I think Carolina, your original measurement is good.
By chance and luck.
Hmm?
Well, they look beautiful now too. turned out the perfect level.
Ah.
And
Well,
now
we
we're
could
gonna
just wait. We could leave them and then come in and see.
how they look.
Yeah. Monday, tomorrow, these bad boys start getting installed. And they're gonna start being installed in the coffee hallway, the spode room, which is now being called the salle de pause, or the break room for the staff. And then the last piece will be this aperitif zone here, because at the same time, the masons are still finishing the medieval chimney, fireplace, the hood. They're gonna come here to this window also and do a beautiful stone facing, because it cannot stay flat the way it is in order to interact with the countertop, and there's a sink. So we had beautiful facade stone made, kind of like this, to just kind of pop it out a little bit. So that's gonna come in here. And then once that's done, then they can put in the aperitif cabinets and fridge. I think the little fridge is here, the ice machine is here. So all of that's coming in, and then after that, the rest of the kitchen is going to be delivered in a week from tomorrow.
When is the oven?
Tuesday after you leave. Really extends the whole like thing. Wow. My favorite purchase.
It's quite heavy.
On my favorite ceiling. Of our favorite project.
You should see it from here like that, don't you?